Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kinsey. I am a second grade student teacher, and today I am taking the Praxis. So I thought I'd bring you guys along on this journey and kind of record it. I feel like there is not a lot of information or anything out there on the Praxis. I feel like the EdTPA has a little bit of stuff about it, but the Praxis, I don't know. I also am not sure if other states require these Praxis tests. So for my school, and I think the state of Maryland, you need to pass 2 tests and then the EdTPA to get your teaching certificate. I am currently editing this video, so I'm going to clarify. Basically what I was trying to explain was that my Maryland teaching certificate requires a total of 4 tests. So it's a total of 3 Praxis tests and then the EdTPA. So I was trying to explain that I did not take the first Praxis core because that is what you need to get into the program, but my SAT scores were high enough where I tested out of that. And then the other 2 are in the program and you can't get out of them. And so the first one is the one that I just took. It is the regular early childhood education one. And then the next one I will take is the reading one. And so those are 2 different tests. And so this is just the first one. And then I still have to take the second one. And then I will take the EdTPA. So I did not make that clear throughout this video at all. So I wanted to clarify that. This is my first Praxis, and my understanding of it is it's like an SAT, just with the teaching content that you should know. I could have taken it last semester, like during the semester, and I could continue to take it through the end of the semester, my last semester, but I just felt like I didn't want to stress myself out over this test. And so the fact that this is the only thing I have to do today, and you know, it's just gonna be quick and simple, I feel like is gonna be helpful for my mind. So I wanted to quickly just like go over what I'm doing to prepare for it. That way, after I take the test, I can let you know if it was effective or if I hated what I did or if I even passed. I have no clue. So let me show you that. All right, you guys, so as you can see, I have a whole Praxis folder. I'm not type A or anything. I have 4 things in here, and this is basically all that I have used to study so far. So I figured I would just show you. These are some things that I got from the workshop, and basically it just has a few like practice questions, and so it's a lot of like scenario based questions where you kind of have to decide like what you would do in this scenario or based on these responses and things like that. And then this is the big thing that you all will probably have access to, and this is like from Praxis. This has like an overview and then some like study plans and the topics. It has practice questions and tips and then frequently asked questions and stuff like that. So this is a 46-page document. So I personally did not print this out. You probably definitely could and like write through it. Okay guys, so I have like 30 minutes before I need to log on and get ready for my test, but as you just saw, I just took like a little like pre-test thing, and I did okay. Not nearly as well as I would have hoped to have done, but some of these questions, at least those practice questions that I just did, were really subjective. I felt like it was very, like there were a few questions that were like, what would your first step be? and like none of them were wrong, you know? So like I hate those. Doing that I think was really helpful. Even though I didn't get like the score that I would have wanted, I think it was really helpful for me to have gone through that and like actually taken the time. It took me about 30 minutes to get through 30 test questions, which I don't think is too bad. And so basically I just kind of went through that, and it helped me to understand the way that they were asking questions and the way that they were looking for their answers, kind of. So hopefully that was a helpful step that I chose to do. But I have 30 minutes, so I am going to do nothing for 30 minutes and then take my test. Hang on. Much better. Okay. So I am gonna give you guys a like real-time update. I literally just closed my computer and finished. I'm putting my earrings back in because they made me take them off. I don't know. All right, so I am gonna give you the lowdown because that was a very interesting experience. I don't think it would have been as interesting or weird if like life was normal. You know, like normally I would have gone to a testing center and like an SAT, you sit in a room, you can't have anything, and you're just taking the test. But they were offering home tests, obviously, and that is what I opted to do. So I sat right here and I did my test. And so basically starting out, they literally had me like show around my room. Like I had to carry my computer around and like show him the room and under my desk and everything. And then it was like a little chat box that came up, and he like took over my screen, and then instead of scratch paper like you usually would use, they ask you to get out a whiteboard or a paper in a page protector thing. And this is what I was using as my scratch paper with a dry erase marker. And then at the end, they had me like show them that I was erasing it, and that's how I ended it. And yeah, so the experience of it was very interesting. They kind of take over your computer and whatever. I don't know for how long that will be going on or when they will start like in-person testing again, if they do. But I personally enjoyed this much more than going to a testing center. I was still stressed because I don't test well, but I felt a little bit calmer for some reason throughout it. I wasn't like worried about what other people were doing, I guess. I don't know. So let me start off by saying you will be totally fine. I know that that's hard to believe when you're like in the moment and stressed about it, but it's an interesting thing to be tested on the very thing that you are passionate about and working toward. Comparing it to an SAT, I preferred this test very much. The SAT is just a bunch of random things that you may or may not know about and you may or may not be confident in. Whereas this test is basically all about what you've been doing for the past 4 years and all about what you've been learning and experiencing. And most of the time, your like natural talent of being a teacher, that's what this is. That's what these questions are. So I found a lot of them to be like, yeah, like definitely B, definitely D, whatever. Which kind of like eased my nerves the further I got into it. It's a long test. I had 2 hours to do it, and I took the entire 2 hours to answer 120 questions. My particular test did not have any quick response or like short response answers. I didn't have to like type anything. It was all like multiple choice questions or like, you know, check boxes. You had to like check 4 that apply or whatever. And the test was broken up into, I believe it was 4 sections. There was language arts, math, science, and then physical education and like arts. And the language arts section was exactly what I anticipated, just like very situational, how would you differentiate this? What would you do for this student? How would you handle this situation? And then as the test continued, I felt like there were a lot less of those type of questions and a lot more like content-based questions. Like I had to like label the types of rocks, you know, like what you learn in 2nd grade. Like I had to like label those and decide which was which for the science. And then like I was doing real like math problems, like just finding the answer. I don't know. It was odd to me that I was not like analyzing the data of a student and I was like doing the work. But I guess, you know, you have to know the content you're teaching. I don't know. But yeah, overall, I think that the test was pretty average. I was more stressed about it than I needed to be, which is like, just that's me. Hopefully watching this video and hearing a little bit more about the specifics of it will be really helpful for you guys. And like I said, if you were nervous about the at-home aspect of it, I liked it a little better. I don't know, it just worked for me. But what I did to prepare for it, which is what you saw at the beginning of the video, I just did a whole bunch of test questions, like practice questions, and I was really just reviewing like the way that the questions are formed and the language they use and things like that. I felt kind of unprepared going into it, but then by the end of it, I felt over-prepared from what I did. I feel like all the questions, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like, okay, it's, you know, it is what it is. And then at the end of it, it shared my raw score. And that was kind of confusing because it just like gives you a number and then it gives you like the raw scores of each section that you got. And it doesn't tell you like out of what or if you passed or anything like that. So it'll take about a week, it says, for me to get my final results. I want this video to go up as soon as possible to help you all because this is the time that the test is being taken by most people. So look out for my Instagram post about my scores. I want information to be out there on the Praxis test because testing, no matter what it is stressful, and gathering information about it can be really helpful to ease that stress. So I hope that I was able to help. If you have any more questions about the Praxis or my experience or anything like that, leave them down below. I would love to answer them, and I'm sure other people, if they have answers or experiences, please leave them down below. We are creating a community here, and I need your help to create that community. If you are interested in following along on my journey, remember to subscribe to my channel. I post once a week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I'll see you in the next one. Just keep teaching.